Good morning, everybody. So we'll just start by saying I'm not a financial advisor, and it's not financial advice. We're just going to start looking at these coins. We'll start with Bitcoin, and like I say, do your own research, and just don't take what I say as anything at all. Right, so we in our previous videos we saw this area here as our first line of support. That was 11,200 to 11,000, which broke down. In fact, I'll extend this box over to here because this wick here was what we were looking to break past. If we could break past this, then I thought we were going to come down to test the bottom area, which is 11,000, which broke. So our next layer of support was on this 200 EMA here, which you can see we found a bounce there, but when we bounced from there, it would appear that at the time, and we're on the 4-hourly chart by the way, that actually 11,000 has now become a resistance for us, and we sort of came close to bouncing there and tried to test that, and we found ourselves in a smaller trading range, which suggested that the likelihood is we're going to come back down again even further. And our last, and I say it's our last, it's not exactly our last, we'll go into it in a bit more detail, but our last major support in this area of the 10,000s is where we are at right now, which is on this yellow. This yellow is the 200 simple, and that is our last area of support in this area before we get to 10,000. And now you can see that we are bouncing from that, but it's not a good bounce. I thought maybe that there would be a stronger bounce from here, and I should say that my bias is to the down because indicators all suggest downward trend at the moment for Bitcoin, yeah, it's harder than it's moving down harder than I thought it would. I thought that there'd be a couple of guys with big bucks looking to make a swing on this one and bounce from it, but they've failed to do that. Doesn't mean that they can't do it, but on their first attempts they've not done it at all. Maybe we'll trade sideways on this area for a while, maybe, but because these two wicks have broken down beneath this area, and that area is 2,000. What am I talking about? 10,600. So we've got areas here of I'll just draw these boxes in here. 10,800 to 10,600. That is generally our support, and the reasons being is we've got these two major, very important moving averages on the 4-hourly that do hold quite a bit of weight. The problem being though is if this breaks, there's no moving averages beneath us anymore. The next layer of support, well, I'm going to put this one down here, we'll come to that. The next one I would actually say, and it's not even worth drawing a box in because it's simply just a psychological number of 10,000, and that is this area here. That 10,000 is our next layer of support if this one was to break down significantly, and it could quite easily break down significantly at this point. My guess is that we might trade sideways here for a little bit, but the momentum is certainly to the down now. And the trading ranges are getting smaller, and we've got layers of resistance building up, so I probably would say that this 200 EMA, the big white line that you see there at 10,800 may become a resistance. We'll have to see if we find a bounce from here. If we get rejected from that 10,800 area, it would definitely to me suggest that there's movement to the down. Now we're within this trading box now, we're at the bottom of it, so if we can make a push to move to the up, and if we get rejected from there, then I would definitely say that this area is likely to break, and it would probably break sooner rather than later. I'd like to see a bit of sideways action at the moment before we go down, simply to give some other coins a chance to move around, share the wealth a little, but it's not looking too healthy at the moment. And if this one breaks, and let's just say if it breaks beneath this bit here, I'm going to draw a little white line in, this would be our absolute danger zone. That is 10,500. If that bit breaks, and it's very close to breaking, then we're down to 10,000. 10,000 is merely a psychological number. It doesn't really offer a tangible area of support. So we'll find a bounce from there probably, but the fact is if we get down to that level, that bounce probably won't do anything for us other than a little scalping range before the inevitable plunge down to this area. Now this isn't all doom and gloom. If this area holds, and let's just say it trades sideways amongst this area for a short while, you could consider this still as the last line of support before, I wouldn't want to call it a bear trend, but I would definitely call it bearish signal if we come down here. there is a chance, and like I say, it is our last area of support for the bulls to really take their last stand, and we can still make a recovery from this area. But we've got 1, 2, 3, you could probably call that 4, and a 5. We've got 5 resistances above us from this area. 5 resistances to break through before we can start to look at making anywhere near our previous highs. Because this descending trend here is what's been causing the big problem overall, and we've been rejected 1, 2, 3, and you probably call this 4, 5, and 6. But definitely 3 major times we've been rejected from that, and it's descending, so it's going down. So it would be very hard for us to actually break above all of these resistances and up above there in a big Bitcoin swift move. So the thing is, we've got less supports than we have resistances, which is going to make everything a lot more difficult. Also, we've got indicators moving down on the 4 hourly. We've got them moving down also on the 12 hourly with plenty of room to go, and on the daily we've made a fresh cross to the down. It is only fresh, it's not continued yet. It could bend back up and move, but considering with these the direction it's gone these last few days, this is probably going to have a continuation and find our way back down. So the next area of support 10,000, and then all the way down to 9,200. I know. But let's not worry, because we focus on other coins on this channel, and one of them is, and I should say one of them, the main one is Matic. We all love a bit of Matic. And Matic, we'll start with the Bitcoin pairing. Matic's actually been making stronger moves than even I expected, and I usually have sort of great expectations for Matic. I like to hold bags of Matic, and I have been accumulating all this way, and even I didn't think this. Now, actually, we'll move to the tether, and one thing, if you watch my channel, we've been waiting for, and we've watched, and it has played out, as the golden crosses. Okay, so I've got a lot of moving averages here, so I'll just talk you through them very briefly. This big fat yellow and this little skinny purple. So the big fat yellow is the 200 simple, the skinny purple is the 50 simple. They had a golden cross there, that's quite important to have. This big fat green and this big fat white. So the big fat green is the 50 EMA and the white is the 200 EMA. They had a golden cross there. So we've got a golden cross on the tether value on the 4 hourly, which isn't the best thing, but it's better than nothing. And we'll have a look to see if we're any close on the 6 hourly. 6 hourly looks like there's going to be a golden cross take place, and perhaps maybe today or tomorrow if the momentum carries on. So that's another good sign. However, I should say that trading looks like it's going to go sideways a little bit for Matic, but a lot of these indicators, Matic likes to trump them. So, and 12 hourly, we're going to be a bit way away, and we can't really go to a daily because this chart is so small that actually we don't have 200s on the dailies. Not yet. So actually the 12 hourly looks like it still wants to move up a little bit. We'll go down to the 4 hourly though, because like I say, it's a small chart, and 4 hourly seems to be the best one to chart with at the moment with Matic. So this big blue box here, this is our resistance area. Okay, so we broke above it on this original move up here, and we found our way right up to our sort of more significant resistance level at 2 cent. Okay, we came back down because that was largely FOMO based on news related stuff. We came all the way back down here, big consolidation. That was to be expected because it wasn't really organic growth, that was a FOMO growth. But this one here is a little different. Okay, now it's still it's still on the back of what happened, but as a result of this, we actually started to see an increase in both volume and the chart started to sort of change its composition, and forming these golden crosses would tell me as a trader and as a sort of chart analyzer that golden crosses shouldn't really be ignored, even if they were sort of created on the back of news, which essentially it was. A golden cross has happened. We've got them both on daily and on simple and exponential. That might be why we've found ourselves continuing without such a large consolidation after this second move. But the thing to be wary of is that we're vulnerable. This coin is vulnerable to bad news. So the whole thing came about from Matic being considered to go on Coinbase. Now, if Matic, for whatever reason, doesn't get on Coinbase, we're going to come all the way back down again. But that news, isn't likely to happen anytime soon. So right now, what we're going to do is we're simply just going to go by what we can see on this chart, which is essentially two golden crosses on exponentials and on simples on a 4-hourly, which would suggest perhaps 30% move from that area, and that area is, we've got 1, 2. So we'll just call it 30% from there. We'll just say it's from. Let's just be safe and say it from here. 30% from here could bring us up to that peak there. So that'll be 1.87 cent. That would generally be what's considered after a golden cross. So not up to our previous tested resistance area. But on the other hand, that's just a ballpark figure. 30% is just generally recognised as what's likely to happen after a golden cross. Matic makes much bigger moves than your average coin or average chart of any form, actually. So 30% would be conservative. So it wouldn't surprise me if we made our way back up to 2 cent before being rejected again. And at that point, that rejection, we're going to have to see where we consolidate back down to. If we have another tragic one like this, then it's not a good sign. And probably, I would be surprised if we came back down there straight away, but anything's possible. And the reason I say that is that we've in this area here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving averages all beginning to slope up, and they're all quite strong. These 3 especially very strong. So the lowest I would expect Matic to go before some kind of bounce would be 1.34 cents. And that's simply because that's where the 200 simple is. We're probably going to find bounces, I'd probably say, at, we'll call it 1.5, 1.44, and 1.34. But at the moment, looks like we're making another cross to the up and want to make sort of more headroom. The top of this blue box is a resistance, that's 17.4. I don't know why I say it like that. 1.74. That would be relatively hard to break, but if we do break that, then there's no reason why we can't make our way back up to here again. I think we're likely to find ourselves around. Well, it'll be hard to get to about 1.9. So that's where we are with the tether value. We're looking at Satoshi values, and actually Bitcoin is helping us out here, because the strength that Matic has gained as a result of this golden cross has increased its Satoshi value strength. Okay, so if Bitcoin was to fall down, which it like I say, my expectations is that it will generally drag the rest of the market with it. But Matic might be not able to avoid that, but fall at a lower speed, which would create a larger sort of, will actually sort of increase its Satoshi value, or at least fall at a lower rate. We're not likely to see red candles on this if Bitcoin falls faster than Matic. It depends on how they both react to that. But the market, if Bitcoin does fall that fast, the market will suffer, and Matic will probably suffer alongside it. But good news on this is that one of the things we've been waiting for, I should say one of the things, a few of the things we've been waiting for, is golden crosses on the Satoshi values, and we've got one here. We've got the simple 50 going over the simple 200, and now we've got the exponential, which I believe is the more important one, the green going over the white. That is a golden cross now on the exponential moving averages. Indicators suggest that we want to go up a little bit, but it probably won't last for too long, but there is movement to the up still. Our main target, I would say, our highest target was going to be around 175 Satoshis. That is where we're likely to see significant rejection, because that's where we found it before, and that meets up roughly with our 2 cent area. We might find rejection slightly before that. If we can break 175, that's a real big deal, because then we've got to start making our way up to previous highs of around about 220, and then the all-time sort of major one I would expect, so 220 to 230. And then 275, which is around about here. 275, where are we? 275. We call it 275 or 280. So those areas are a long way away for the moment, but Matic is definitely showing us some very good signs, and And yeah, I'll leave it with you there. Let's not drag this one out. So Matic's looking okay. We've got golden crosses. Bitcoin's looking sorry for itself, and we've got lower ends of support. It's as simple as that. Anyway, I've really got to get on, but thanks a lot for watching. I hope you have a nice day. I'm going to drop another video in a moment for somebody who's kind of made a request for Phantom. And if you have any other requests of coins you want me to have a look at, I'm very happy to do that for you. Just let me know in the comments below. Anyway, have a nice day and take it easy, and thanks for watching.